Hey everyone, I am Angela. I'm a busy mama too, so I know firsthand how hard it can be to stay on top of, your meals and getting breakfast done and make sure everyone has what they need for the week and still have some energy left over at the end of the day at that. So that's why today I'm showing you my stress-free meal prep routine that'll make your life easier. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys a delicious fried chicken recipe. If you're ready to save yourself some time and energy, then let's tune in. What are you waiting for? First, you're going to start with either your pancake mix or your batter from scratch. You're going to mix that up. Go ahead, make sure your skillet's nice and hot. Spray your pan. I personally like to add a little bit of chocolate chips to the mix. That's what my son and my husband love. I use Nestle mini chocolate chips. Here I am just kind of adding that to the batter. Then I'm going to mix it up. I like our pancakes to be thick and fluffy and quite large so that I can make sure that my husband adequately has enough pancakes in his bowls because he is a larger guy, so he eats a lot. So when it came to breakfast for this week, I specifically made these meal prep containers for my husband so that he can save time as well as energy because he's a plumber, so he doesn't always have time to stop and get breakfast, and that costs a lot of money, especially with us right now working on just one income. My son was in a mood and he really wanted pancakes, so I gave him some, and that definitely brightened his little day. So when it comes to actually making the breakfast containers, I will alternate obviously to what I'm putting in the containers. I don't always put, greasy meats in there. We will alternate between pancakes, French toast, bacon, sausage, kind of different things. So there's my beautiful stack of pancakes. I'm gonna go ahead and add my bacon to the pan. Got it from Aldi's. It's maple flavored, and when I tell you it smelled delicious, it really did. So while the meat is cooking, I went ahead and I already had my meats soaking in cold water to defrost, but they still quite weren't ready. So I went ahead, I had drumsticks as well as a family pack of chicken breasts. So I soaked them in cold water and let them sit for about 20 or so minutes just to make sure they were fully defrosted. So there I am adding that water. And then I kind of just set that on the stove to let them make sure that they're fully defrosted before I put them into the skillet, or else, they're really not going to taste that good. I will also try to link everything in the description for you guys, whether it's the accessories we're using. I'll try and find anything as similar to it on Amazon as I can. Here I am just flipping over the bacon. I love the skillet because it never burns. These are the containers I use. They're Rubbermaid take-alongs. Here I am just placing it all out onto the stove, adding the chocolate chip pancakes to the mix. So I did alternate between bacon as well as the Smithfield all-natural sausage. I'm just going to cook it. It's already pre-done. My husband has a microwave in his van, so he's able to reheat these meals up, and then obviously he keeps them in a cooler. And then we did these little potatoes. Usually I would make them from scratch, but we found them in the store for really cheap and inexpensive, so we did this little fried potato mix. Look at me casually making a mess everywhere. I will try my hardest to not make a mess, but when I tell you these were hot, I don't know why I didn't use like a pair of silverware. This is a quick overview of what it looks like for each container. Right now it's time to move on to the lunch/dinner. So we're going to start with our chicken drumsticks. I made sure I rinsed it all off. There was nothing, left on there. So you're going to season it with a little bit of seasonal Old Bay. You're going to add your garlic powder, your onion powder, and then you're going to add a little bit of black pepper, as well as some garlic salt. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to mix that all up. Make sure all those seasonings really get into the meat, and you're going to let it sit for at least 10-15 minutes to kind of let it marinate. So I'm going to make sure that my knife is nice and sharp. So we're going ahead and go sharpen that because these chicken breasts were super thick. I had gotten at Aldi's a while ago, and I've been meaning to use them, so I was super glad that I had them. So we just went ahead, cut them up into smaller sections, and turned them into tenders. And then we'll show you how we season it, and we're going to make sure we remove that fat. Here's our little marinade. You're going to add a little bit of milk as well as a little bit of seasonal, the same things you season the chicken with, and then you're going to let these tenders kind of really soak into this, and then you're going to put it in the fridge for at least 20 or so minutes just to make sure it's really going. While that's in there, you're going to go ahead and add your flour to your bowl or your bag, and then the same seasonings you season the chicken with, season the flour mixture with. You're going to go ahead, then you're going to shake it up. Make sure you get all those seasons really in there. Add your breadcrumbs to this dry mixture. Make sure you shake it up, and then you're going to add each drumstick to this mixture, and then you're going to place it in the bowl to make sure it's evenly coated. You're going to add your grease, preheat to 300, and add a little bit of seasonal to the grease. And now it's time for us to put the chicken in. It's nice and hot. You can listen to that sizzle. We're gonna go ahead and cook it, and then you're gonna know when it's starting to be ready to flip over. Once it's a nice pretty golden brown as the chicken is cooking, then I will make my quinoa for my meal prep for the week. Especially with being breastfeeding, I'm trying to be more mindful this time around about what I'm actually consuming. And now you can see that golden brown on that chicken that I was telling you guys about. It was just a little bit longer, but now you can really see that golden like edge around it. That's when we go ahead and flip it. And it came out really nicely. Like, listen to it, it just sounds delicious. And it tasted delicious. Even though we did add a lot of seasonings, it wasn't heavily seasoned to the point where it was like, what is this? It was just the right balance. So it's just based on obviously adjusting to your particular preference. Alright, so now it's time to take this chicken out. We make sure that we always put a paper towel down to kind of drain off some of that grease so it's not really greasy. Obviously you're going to have some, but a lot less than if you just put it in this metal container. So I actually alternated, like I said, between this chicken and then the chicken tenders, because my husband wanted to take the chicken tenders he's using for an actual chicken salad this week, and then obviously the chicken drumsticks is what he obviously ate with his mac and cheese and his broccoli. Alright, so you're going to cook this chicken tenders the same exact way that you cook the drumsticks, and then I decided to use these chicken tenders for my meal prep for my quinoa and broccoli mixture that I like to eat. My husband, he has mac and cheese. I didn't feel like making it from scratch, so I was debating here to add 1 drumstick or 2, and then ended up adding 2 drumsticks to each of them, and then adding some broccoli to his dish. And then I had to realize that I needed to add the last 2 needed to be tenders so that he could have his chicken salad for the week as well. So he'll pick up the salad later on in the week. But when I tell you, this was not a hard or difficult process at all. It was very simple, very straightforward. And then the extra chicken that we did have, I ended up sharing it with my sister, because we ended up cooking this meal actually at my mom's house because her kitchen is way bigger and there's like nobody ever in there. So it made so much sense. Alright, so now this is my meal prep for the week. This is what I was eating for lunch. I did not make myself breakfast. I am exclusively breastfeeding, same thing as I was the first time, but now I'm being more mindful this second time around with what I'm consuming. So I added the quinoa and broccoli, I seasoned it, I added some black beans into this little dish here, and then I went ahead and made sure that I had some chicken tenders right on the top. So I kind of made my own like little stir fry, if that's what you want to call it. This is kind of an overview of what it looks like. I didn't have more broccoli, because if I had more broccoli I most definitely would have loaded it up, but I split it again with my husband to make sure he had a vegetable because he doesn't really eat that many vegetables. He's the biggest fan of like broccoli, that's his favorite, but I'm more open to kind of trying like different things. But that's okay. Obviously, everybody likes different things. This is an overview of mine. If you guys really enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because this is just video number 2 in the whole month of Vlogtober.